Speckles the Tarbosaurus, aka the Dino King, is the most ridiculous dinosaur movie I have ever seen. This is South Korea's feature film version of their Tarbosaurus documentary, an unholy mutated hybrid between The Land Before Time, The Lion King, Disney's Dinosaur and Peter Jackson's King Kong. Everything in this movie is ripped off from somewhere else. And it has the most aggravating voice acting I've ever heard in a big budget dinosaur movie. But shockingly, this train wreck has actual fans. A large number of fans. There are a lot of fan videos on YouTube with millions and millions of views. Many young impressionable children actually watch this. If you grew up with this movie, I can't hold that against you. But you'd be better off just watching the original movies where this movie stole its ideas from. Come on, even the translators knew this was just a Lion King ripoff. Hey, I remember that logo. This movie comes from the good people that brought us Dino Time. How reassuring.
You messed with the wrong family.
Well, now you're all dead!
Nothing but quality from a production that thinks this little hand puppet qualifies as an animatronic.
My face was covered in spots. That's why I'm called Speckles.
His name is Patch.
God, they can't even keep a consistent protagonist name between movies. The only consistent things between the documentary and the movie are the models of Pukyongosaurus and Hanem Ignis. And that's only because these Korean animals are so obscure there's no other design the animators could rip off except for their own. Just like the documentary, this movie takes place in South Korea 80 million years ago, despite featuring dinosaurs not from that age, and in this case, not even that place. The cast list of this movie is a mix of Asian and North American dinosaurs, and while both continents do have Tyrannosaurids, Hadrosaurids, Ankylosaurids and Ceratopsians, they do not share the same species. Why are South Korean dinosaur movies always so poorly researched? While the new Tarbosaurus design at least isn't just the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, they are now covered in ridiculous amounts of body armor like a crocodile. But the worst redesign is Patch himself. Ironically, the baby Tarbosaurus from the documentary is not far off from the skull shape of a real juvenile, considering how inaccurate the other dinosaurs were, probably an accident. But this new design has a big blocky head and cutesy cartoony eyes. This doesn't look like a real dinosaur, this looks like gone.
My mom is a Tarbosaurus. She has 4 younglings.
Younglings.
My sisters like to play together, but they never invite me. I don't care. It's pretty lame anyway. It's hard being the youngest.
This voice acting is not only annoying, it's downright condescending on children. How can anybody watch this movie and not feel like being treated like a little idiot? When will studios finally learn that you don't give your realistic CGI dinosaurs baby talk? Of all his family members, only his older brother has a name.
Quicks.
His mother is just called Mom, and his 2 sisters are just known as the twins. I am going to call them Mufasa, 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 and Mufasa. You can already see where this is going. The Tarbosaurus family goes hunting, using the exact same chase into ambush tactic you've already seen in When Dinosaurs Roamed America and Dinosaur Planet, because there's not a single shred of originality in this movie. Look no further than the main antagonist, an evil T-Rex named
One Eye.
They couldn't name him Scar because that would have been too obvious. This character is the best thing in this entire movie. He's exactly the kind of edgy dinosaur a 12-year-old would imagine. The scarred face, the red color like the Carnotaurus from Disney's Dinosaur, and the gnarly teeth and body armor like the V-Rex from King Kong. And if his appearance wasn't enough, he also has supernatural powers. Like in this scene where he needs to throw a boulder on an Ankylosaurus and there just happens to be one in the perfect position. This guy has watched The Land Before Time and learned from it. He also brings his own epic chorus wherever he goes, and it's the kind of generic chanting you also had in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Oh right, I didn't even mention that in my review. That's how forgettable it was. Every time I find something new I hate about that movie. Anyway, I think for such an edgy character like One Eye there's much more appropriate music out there.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
and within the next second he teleports down to his prey. Nothing personnel, kid. Meanwhile, Speckles is exploring the jungle.
It's a Repanomamus. Their moms give birth, but us dinosaurs lay eggs. Isn't that fascinating?
Repanomamus was actually big enough to eat annoying baby dinosaurs. Isn't that fascinating?
Whoa, it's a massive dinosaur. Oops.
Ah, God, that's an ugly design. Go back to ripping off Chased by Dinosaurs.
Mom said I should be careful.
For him. The claws of the Therizinosaurus pierce the youngster's body.
Oh, how I wish that happened. Speckles' siblings save him and they run away.
Today, I'm going on my first hunt. Yes!
And this was the moment when One Eye decided to dedicate the rest of his life to killing that annoying piece of shit. The family goes on another hunt when Speckles rushes in, because he has no brain, I guess. Only one thing could send this many running away.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my own bleeding. This is my last resort.
Yes, this single T-Rex is chasing an entire herd of dinosaurs just to get rid of a handful of rivals. I would play the stampede music from The Lion King, but someone on YouTube has already done that. Speaking of The Lion King, do you know why that stampede scene was so terrifying? Because they were inside a canyon. But this is an open field. Just run to the side. Am I watching Prometheus? And are you seriously telling me these young Tarbosaurs cannot outrun those bulky herbivores?
Quick! Sisters! My sisters! Oh no!
I can't take these dramatic deaths seriously with that annoying kid. Now the T-Rex fights Speckles' mom and whoa, there's actual blood! But not whenever they actually bite each other. It's the Dino Time syndrome all over again. And while the movie tries its best to make the death of the mother sad, the kid's voice just doesn't sound like he really cares. Now Speckles must survive in the wilderness alone and encounters a pack of velociraptors. They are no longer ripped out from Jurassic Park 3. Instead, their color texture is ripped off from the Coelophysis from Walking with Dinosaurs, and their mohawks are ripped off from troll dolls. Their prey is a Hypsilophodon, a dinosaur that lived 130 million years ago in England. If they needed a Korean ornithopod, they could have just used Koreanosaurus. The Hypsilophodon and one raptor fall into a sinkhole and get swallowed within seconds. Later, Speckles returns to Pride Rock.
I haven't had any meat in such a long time.
Glad to see they're keeping the clumsiness consistent.
My dinner!
I smell a jump scare coming. I just realized I haven't said anything about the animation in this movie yet. Ignoring how bad the actual models are, it's pretty good. much more fluid than in the documentary. Sometimes it looks like those dinosaurs are really standing there in these beautiful landscapes. But other times it's painfully obvious they're just CGI in front of a live-action backdrop. And in this scene, One Eye's model is somehow less detailed than usually. The movie also seems to have been made by a foot fetishist, because there are constantly these close-ups of the dinosaurs curling their toes. I don't know what's the deal with that, and I'm pretty sure dinosaurs can't bend their toes like that anyway. Two male Torosaurus reenact the scene from Walking with Dinosaurs, down to the part where one loses his horns.
Run.
And if you thought the other Therizinosaurus fight was stupid, this one is even dumber. How? Just how can you get your claws stuck in a tree like that? Is the tree made of gum? Little Speckles now meets his love interest, a female Tarbosaurus named
Blue Eyes.
This name creativity is killing me. Damn, he's checking out that ass.
FBI, open up!
Oh come on, is there any dinosaur movie they didn't rip off? Speckles and Blue Eyes grow up into subadults and go hunt in the wetlands.
Bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the...
How did One Eye get here?
I told you he can teleport.
The monster that killed my family.
Oh, thanks for reminding me of that. I already forgot about that because I am a little child that can't remember things that happened 15 minutes ago. Now Speckles lures him into the sinkhole. Remember how the Hypsilophodon and the Raptor were sinking within seconds, but somehow this massive T-Rex sinks very slowly.
We were thrilled. We finally got rid of One Eye.
Wait, what? How?
What a persistent beast! Seems nothing can stop him.
Including the laws of physics! Next, they go to a hot spring. This movie's so desperate it's ripping off the land before time. Part 8. The mating season begins.
I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but
One Eye has been single ever since he left his previous partner because she adopted an annoying dinosaur kid. Speckles and Blue Eyes are now adults and have their own Pride Rock. But they're not safe from Wile E. Coyote.
Came all the way out here, looking for a mate.
Wait, what? Hold on a second. Please tell me I misheard that.
Looking for a mate.
Is this movie seriously throwing rape at us? Interspecies rape? Who is the target audience again?
It's hard being the youngest.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Whoa, how did he get up here? Does he have teleportation powers too?
One Eye, my nemesis.
Oh wait, this guy is your nemesis? Thanks for explaining that, Speckles. I couldn't tell from the fact he killed your entire family and tried to rape your girlfriend.
Watching Blue Eyes on the ground brought back bitter memories from the past.
Oh yeah, this is the perfect moment for a flashback. Because the audience of this movie can't remember what happened half an hour ago. Because they are children. This movie with interspecies rape is for children.
I defeated him! I'm Speckles!
Shouting it doesn't make it sound more intimidating.
I'll get you next time, Speckles. Next time.
Of course, Speckles celebrates the defeat of this rapist by impregnating his girlfriend.
She will soon lay eggs that, with love and nurturing, will hatch into baby dinosaurs.
Speckles Jr. was born.
No! Not these annoying baby voices again!
For him.
A volcano erupted.
Wow, that fire animation is horrible! I know I have complained a lot about the volcano eruption in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but at least it looks great! Finally one of them shuts up! Speckles and his family join a migrating dinosaur herd. Now you may think this is a ripoff of Disney's Dinosaur, but in that movie they were followed by a pack of velociraptors. Oh, never mind. A giant sauropod dies, and even though this should feed all the raptors for days, they still run towards the smaller dinosaur that is protected by a large predator. Speckles kills a dozen raptors,
But they kept on coming.
And they don't stop coming, 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 and they don't stop.
They must have a spawn area nearby. Suddenly, the raptors stop attacking because they know these two need to share a sad moment.
Open your eyes. No, don't give up.
This would be much more impactful if Blue Eyes could also talk. As annoying as the voice acting in Walking with Dinosaurs is, at least we have dialogue between the protagonist and the love interest.
Blue Eyes.
But the fact that Speckles is the only one talking in this scene makes it feel like we're not watching the death of his girlfriend, but his pet. And even though they now have an unprotected body, the raptors still attack the Tarbosaurus? Are they trying to get themselves killed? Look, some even jump directly into his mouth. It takes a dozen more dead raptors before they finally realize to just stick to the dead bodies. Speckles and his children follow the dinosaur to the top of a mountain.
Then, a miracle happened. Dinosaurs in the front let out a cry of joy. We hurried along.
Great Valley.
No, actually the valley is that tiny spot over there, and now they have to cross a thin land bridge like in The Land Before Time Part 5. It's ridiculous how often this T-Rex and this Tarbosaurus cross paths. By now they probably have a psychic connection.
Then suddenly,
A dinosaur came through the walls. Alright, one down, one to go.
One Eye again? How did he get here?
Because he was in search of the plot. Now get ready for the best anime fight of all time.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
And of course, this brutal fight is without a single drop of blood. Oh wow, now this really is the climax of The Land Before Time Part 5.
Junior!
Of course this motherfucker is still alive. And even though he's now in the middle of the fucking ocean, does he swim towards the coast? No, he's heading straight towards Speckles' baby. That's how much he hates him. He's so dedicated, I love it. And now the movie completely jumps the shark.
Hello there.
Yeah, because when I ask myself who would win in a fight between T-Rex and Tarbosaurus, this is how I would imagine it. Try posting this fight scenario on the Carnivora forums. So now we have our hero and villain fighting out of their element, with the hero's child in danger of drowning. Is there any way to raise the stakes even more? Yes! By throwing in 2 goddamn mosasaurs!
Those disgusting 100-foot-long sea monsters.
And making them longer than the Liplodon from Walking with Dinosaurs, because this movie was written by a 5-year-old. Oh boy, here he comes!
Take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand.
And this is how our villain gets defeated. Not by Speckles himself, but some random mosasaur. I guess Jurassic World ripped off more than just Primeval. Also, what was the point of that second mosasaur? Why did he not attack Speckles? They are so ridiculously oversized, there is no way this T-Rex is enough food for both of them. And why are the mosasaurs not mentioned in the cast list of this movie? I don't care. Speckles carries his baby to the shore and this fever dream of a movie finally ends. And that was Speckles the Tarbosaurus, the worst dinosaur movie of South Korea. As much as I hate how childish Dino Time is, at least it's consistent as a movie for little kids. But this one doesn't know what it wants to be. The grittier look of the dinosaurs makes it seem like it is for older kids, but the annoying voiceover makes it seem like it is for toddlers. But for toddlers, this is way too violent. But there's barely any blood, so what's the point of even showing violence? And then the movie just sucker punches you with interspecies rape! Try explaining that to a kid? This movie is just a train wreck. A beautiful, unique train wreck. I know it has a huge number of fans, but the only way I can watch this is ironically. Just like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, it doesn't matter how many CGI dinosaurs you throw on the screen when the plot is so stupid. At least I will never have to deal with this ever again. Wait, what? They're making a sequel? Fuck!
Everything that you thought I would be is fine.
diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito, firma las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito. Sube, 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 sube. Quiero ver bailar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo, que le enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos. Favorito, favorito, baby. Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro, hasta provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido.
Si te pido un beso, ven.
For him.